Don't call them meter maids. No one likes getting a parking ticket, but as areas like South Lake Union and Capitol Hill continue to add to the urban growth, it becomes more of a necessary evil. On average, Seattle's parking enforcement officers issue 500,000 tickets a year. That's with a squad of just under 100 men and women scouring the city limits 6 days a week.
Parking matters. It really does matter to a lot of people. It matters to neighborhoods. It matters to businesses. The compliance factor is trying to get people to just go with the time restrictions, with the rules, with the expectations, so the parking's accessible to everybody.
Parking enforcement officers, or PEOs, help the city regulate some of the highest parking fees in the nation. Certain Seattle neighborhoods charge as much as $4 an hour to park.
They received a citation for being in a commercial load zone. So you have to have a commercial permit and truck plates to be in the commercial load zone, and they didn't have either.
On average, a single PEO can easily write between 50 to 100 tickets per day. On a good day, some have written a couple of hundred tickets in one shift.
You know, downtown is a heavily concentrated area. Capitol Hill, you know, Broadway, you know, a lot of restaurants and stuff.
Recently, Seattle became the first city to test an all-electric prototype scooter called the Firefly, the first of its kind in the nation.
So our hope is we get these vehicles that do meet our needs and that we start switching this gas fleet over, and eventually Seattle Parking Enforcement will be one of the greenest parking enforcement units in the United States.
While the distribution of tickets has become greener and more efficient, the payment of those citations has gotten considerably more urgent. Enter the Boot program. 4 or more unpaid parking tickets can earn a vehicle this electronic ball and chain. Since 2000, Seattle's scofflaw list, folks who just flat out ignored paying their parking tickets, grew to just under 20,000 vehicles. Before the Boot, 4 or more unpaid parking tickets could get your car towed. But people found ways around that. Since the Boot, no more.
The prior system that was in place, quite frankly, didn't work.
If you're lucky enough to get a Boot, simply call the 800 number, make arrangements to pay all outstanding tickets, get a release code, and in theory, you're back to driving your car in just minutes. Just pay up. Apparently, a lot of people have. In the Boot program's first year, the city collected well over $2 million in boot release and impound fees. On average, the 9 dedicated boot officers lock up about 15 cars a day, roughly 75 to 100 cars a week.
We use the license plate recognition system. We'll read your license plate immediately. If you're on that list and we get a hit, it'll pop up and alert us that that car is boot eligible. We'll go ahead and verify it, and at that point, we'll boot you.
Day-to-day ticket writing PEOs patrol a certain assigned neighborhood. It's very much like farming a crop of parked cars, while the Boot Squad is more like that of hunters. Without an assigned area, they randomly scour the city looking for specific cars, literally scanning thousands of license plates daily until they hit that scofflaw jackpot.
The noise that you're hearing is indicating to me that it has read a plate. So every time you hear that noise, that means it has taken a picture of the plate and has run it through our scofflaw list.
Parking enforcement officers could have one of the most thankless jobs in the city. Rarely are they ever appreciated for their necessary work, but what do you expect? They're the constant messengers of bad news.
I mean, there has been times when citizens come running out and they physically kick the boot or act aggressive towards the person applying the boot, even though it's already attached to the vehicle.
They take more abuse verbally than a police officer or any other city employee. And it's understandable. Usually when people get a ticket, they realize they did something wrong. They weren't in compliance, and who they're mad at is themselves.
PEOs work with police, but they aren't sworn police officers that carry a gun. They are regular citizens providing a service for the city. The job itself takes a certain discipline, thick skin, and personality to be a good parking enforcement officer.
So what we look for is somebody that likes people. Are you a people-oriented person? Do you have customer service related skills? Are you somebody that's willing to listen first and then respond and take appropriate action? We don't want the ones that are so hard line or black and white, because it's not so black and white.
Whether it's the boot squad, the new electric scooter, or another method of parking regulation, it's important to remember Seattle's PEOs are never trying to ruin anyone's day. They're providing a civic service and doing a real good job of it. Maybe too good.
You gotta be kidding me.
Watch CityStream Thursday nights at 7 on the Seattle channel, or get video on demand and podcasts anytime at seattlechannel.org.